Good evening, everyone. It is Sunday, about 6:30 p.m., the last day before early voting starts here in Arkansas. And I will tell you that I'm excited. My mother and I, we've already planned to wake up early, go get breakfast, and then be at the polls at 7:30 in the morning. The thing about the polls tomorrow, as I understand it, here in Pulaski County, the only early voting site that will be open on Monday will be the Pulaski County Election Commission office. That's the only one that will be open on Monday. And then on Tuesday, the 12 other sites throughout Pulaski County will open. And this is my Aunt Velma. She's an election judge, and she's the one that told me and my mom that. My mom is a former election judge. So we're really excited to get out there and cast our early vote. I woke up this morning about 8 o'clock, did my breakfast, got dressed, and I started my last official day of really doing, hitting it hard today about 11 o'clock this morning. And I just finished. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a total of 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours knocking on doors. I've knocked on every single door here in Gibson at least twice. And I spoke to, if I was a good counting man, I spoke to about 4-5 dozen residents, and everyone was very interested in seeing me and talking to me. Several of them said that they'd heard about me and that they are ready to vote for me. A lot of them said we have to get David Ray out of office. And of course, I agree with that, because that's the only way that I'm going to win, is that he's removed from office. And while I'm thinking of that, when I took one of my breaks earlier around 5 o'clock, no, it was about 4 o'clock when I took that break, I learned that the Arkansas Times newspaper has endorsed my candidacy. And they actually talked about how important it is to get David Ray out of office because of the threat to direct democracy, the threat to government transparency that he poses. So I'm glad to be on this end of that. But I wanted to share with you guys, after spending that 7.5 hours going door to door canvassing, this is the longest stretch of time that I've done throughout this entire election. I usually just do 2, no more than 3 hours at a time, but I thought that it was vitally important with uh, tomorrow being the final day. I mean, the first day of early voting here in Arkansas. I have to shed a tear for America. I really have to shed a tear for America, because I have the privilege of living in a community that is very diverse. I would say that the makeup of this community that I live in is I'd say it's about 40% Black, about 40% white, and then about 10% Asian, and another 10% Latino. So that's about the makeup of the community that I live in. And I love this community. This community, the vast majority of the people here are either current or retired educators. They're either current or retired police officers, current or retired firefighters, current or retired EMTs and paramedics. So we got and also there's a lot of either current military or veterans. So there's this community is a community that is really deep in public service. And I really love being a part of this community. And it's a very open community. But today, even though 80% of the people that I talked to were very cordial, very neighborly, there was that 20% of people that I talked to who were evil. Evil is a good word to put it. And when I think about some of the things that have been said to me today, it's astounding. I've been called a nigger. I've been told by someone that, exact words, I would never, ever vote for anyone black. And, then the question I asked, I'm like, well, what if both candidates or all of the candidates that's running for a particular office are black? Who would you vote for then if you would never vote for anyone black? And then the guy just told me, he said, hey, I just wouldn't vote. I'm like, wow, that is really, really sad. It's sad state of affairs that we're in. I had a lot of these 20 percenters that told me that they just began the conversation. I'm a Republican. I can't talk to you. All right. And I'm like, we have to get out of this as a nation, as a state, as District 69. We have to get out of this partisan bullshit. That's what it is. It's partisan bullshit. When I was going to Liberty University School of Law, the first class that I took was constitutional law, the history of constitutional law. And in that first lesson, we had to memorize the farewell speech of President George Washington. And in that farewell speech, he warned America. He said, if the people of America give political parties too much power, those political parties will take that power and destroy America by dividing us. And that's what's going on right now. We've reached a situation where we identify ourselves first and foremost as Republicans, first and foremost as Democrats, first and foremost as Green Party, first and foremost as Libertarians. No, we are all Americans. We're all humans first. And then after we're humans, then we're Americans. And then after we're Americans, then we're Arkansans. And then after we're Arkansans, then we are the constituents of House District 69. Only after all of those layers are peeled back are we members of a political party. But to hear the evilness and the meanness of my fellow constituents who are members of the Republican Party, the things that they said, the way they treated me, the contempt that they had for me because I was not a Republican. That is a sad state of affairs. And the last guy I spoke to, and I spoke to him, and after my interaction with him, I've said, hey, I'm just going to turn it in for today. But first of all, he had a beautiful Halloween setup in his front yard with the Peanuts characters. And it was the Great Halloween Charlie Brown, something like that. But it was such a beautiful, thoughtful setup. And my goal was first to just thank him. Like, yo, you have a really nice setup. Thank him for doing that. But he came out, and I introduced myself. I said, hello, I'm Kwami Abdul-Bey. He said, I'm a Republican. I don't need that. And then I said, you don't need what, sir? He said, I don't need any of your literature. I need you to get off my property. And then he said, I'm a Republican. Then I said, well, sir, I'm coming to you as someone who's running for office, and I want to hear from both Democrats and Republicans. I want to hear from independents like myself. I told him I'm a registered independent. I may be running on the Democratic ticket, but I'm a registered independent. And he said, I know who you are. Then I said, oh, you do know who I am. Do you have any, and I was getting ready to ask him, do you have any questions for me? Can we talk about anything? He said, I've seen the post that you've done with the red X's on David Ray, and I don't like it. And then I said, what do you mean that you don't like it? He said, you have no right to be putting that information out about David Ray and making him look bad. I'm like, well, everything that I put out on David Ray is fact checked, and it's true. And if there's anything in particular that I said, I would love to go over it with you. Then he said, I told you to get off my property. So I just turned around and I left. And I walked away with a sadness for America. We have to get out of this. We have to stop letting the Democratic Party and the Republican Party divide and conquer us. We have to stop that. We use political parties solely for getting power and getting candidates that we need to work for us and our communities. We do not vote for people to come into office and they only help people that are members of their party, like David Ray. David Ray will only respond to you as a constituent if you are a member of the Republican Party. And we have to get out of that. This is some kindergarten bullshit. It's kindergarten bullshit, and we have to grow up as Americans. We really do. And I just had to get that off of my chest, because I don't want to go in the house and relax and then that's still there. But I just needed to share that because we are in a sad state of affairs right now. And within the next couple of weeks, we already have a political party and a candidate in that political party, actually two candidates in that political party on the national level, and candidates even on the local level that have threatened and insinuated violence if their main guy doesn't win. I'm like, really? Why are we allowing ourselves to be stooped to this? It's not that important. Being a member of a political party is a choice that can change just like that. I've never been a member of a political party, and I'll never be a member of a political party. But I was raised in a household where my grandmother was Republican and my grandfather was Democrat. My mother was Republican and my father leaned towards, my mother was Democrat and my mother is Democrat, member of the Democratic Party. And my father leaned more towards Republican because he really, really liked Ronald Reagan. But the thing about it is I have never, ever gone to the ballot box and voted for someone solely based on their based on their political party affiliation. I never have. I take time and I research and I look at their platform. I look at their history because their platform may not tell me who they are. I look at their history. If they're formally elected, I look at their record, their public policy record. If they're not, I look at their community activities. I look at what they've done. And I voted for many Republicans in my life. I voted for many Green Party in my life. I voted for many Libertarians in my life. I voted for many Democrats in my life. And never once have I voted for someone solely, the only reason I vote for them is because they're a member of a political party. We have to get out of this. This is dangerous. And if we get to the point of no return, I fear for America. And we can get out of this. All right, guys. Early voting starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. I will be there at 8 a.m. in the morning at the Pulaski County Election Commission. Now, if the line is too long, I'm going to wait until Tuesday to vote when all 13 early voting sites in Pulaski County are open. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I ask everyone, the more people that vote early, the less resources that candidates have to expend on election day. So it is vitally important that everyone, if you are able, please vote early. All right, I'm out of here. I need to go find something to eat. I am too tired to cook. So I need to go take a drive into the city and find me something to eat. It's too late to go to Afro Bites because they close at 6. So I'll find something. Good night.